So, mothers and others, I'm so glad to introduce you to the next candidate. I got to meet Catherine a few months ago in November at an event in Marfa of all places, and it was so great to meet Catherine. So I just can't wait to introduce you all to her. So, Katherine Culbert is one of two Democratic candidates who are running for Railroad Commissioner, and they are running for against Christy Craddock. And we all know Christy Craddock as being pretty corrupt. So we have our work cut out for us, and let's just try to beat Christy Craddock and get rid of really corrupt Republicans. So welcome, Catherine. I'm so glad you're here tonight and you're joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and why you're running for office?
Absolutely. I completely agree, Nancy. Christy needs to go. Thank you so much for having me. Like you said, it was so great to meet you out at the event in Marfa and just continuing our conversations that we've been having. So thank you for that. Hello, everyone. My name is Katherine Culbert, and I am proudly running as a Democrat for the Texas Railroad Commission. I live in Houston, where I'm a process safety engineer for an oil and gas company. And process safety deals with keeping hazardous materials in the pipe and not being released into the community. So that's been my focus for the last 20 some years. It protects workers and the environment and allows companies to operate without undue harm. I've been working in the safety side of the industry for over 20 years, and I've spent that time ensuring safe industrial operations. We really need new leadership to protect our state and our fellow Texans, and to be a voice for everyday Texans to help us all thrive and prosper. I do recognize the importance of the oil and gas industry for the Texas economy. The Railroad Commission is a very important and powerful agency here in Texas, and we need Texans to better understand what they do. I am uniquely qualified for this position due to my experience in the oil and gas industry, which the Railroad Commission regulates. Currently, none of the commissioners have any oil and gas experience. I have worked for upstream, midstream, and downstream companies, so the whole gamut of the industry. I've worked to be proactive, to prevent incidents, and to protect workers, the environment, and the community. And I care about my fellow Texans, and I want to do what I can to help us all.
Well, I can agree with that. So thank you all so much. And I do think that, your experience is very important. So can you tell us what are the top three issues that are the most important for somebody who's running for Railroad Commissioner?
Absolutely. Number one, top of the list is protection of the environment. As a process safety engineer with over 20 years of experience, I'm deeply committed to operating our industry with the highest regard for safety, protecting both workers and the communities. The Railroad Commission's mission is, to quote them, to serve Texas by our concern for personal and community safety, unquote. So this means strict adherence to safety protocols in every aspect of oil and gas operations, ensuring not only compliance, but also a proactive approach to preventing incidents and environmental damage. Second is corporate accountability. I believe in strict accountability for corporations in the oil and gas industry. It is essential to question and scrutinize their actions, particularly when they seek exceptions to regulations, and they do that a lot. We must make these multi-billion-dollar corporations consider the impact their operations will have on surrounding communities and the risks they might pose. We have over 8,000 documented orphan wells in Texas, and this number only scratches the surface. I'm determined to enforce policies where companies are held accountable for safely plugging the wells, not just for a few years, but indefinitely, protecting our state's groundwater, air quality, and the quality of life for Texans. And third, I'm concerned with transparency. I aim to challenge the status quo and question how decisions are made, especially when it comes to corporate influence and campaign contributions. As you alluded to, Nancy, we know that Christy Craddock gets quite a few campaign contributions from a lot of CEOs in the industry. It's vital that the Commission's actions are driven by the best interest of Texans, not by the corporate donations. I will work to allow for every decision made to be transparent, fair, and make sure that it puts the safety and well-being of our communities first. We need to remove the consent agenda that the Railroad Commission uses. They currently push votes through without any public comment or public discussion, and it really keeps the veil over what happens with the Railroad Commission. So we need better transparency there.
Yeah, absolutely. For those of you that may not know, the Railroad Commission does really important work, and they do not have anything to do with the railroad. So don't get them confused.
Nothing.
One of the things that really does need to change in Texas is that they really need to change the name of this office. On to one other thing that I just really want to say about the Railroad Commission is that currently, right now in Texas, we have there's an area of Texas that they are not allowing people to fly over it because there is water spilling and just a lot of really terrible things happening to the groundwater in that area. And Christy Craddock has a lot to do with that. You know, they made it so you can't fly drones over an area, or you can't have an airplane flying it. They have a no-fly zone. This is wrong. It's wrong. And we really need a strong candidate to go in there, and we need to fight back, and we need to protect our environment. And this is so important. This office is so important right now for the state of Texas. So, anyway, so just going on with that. Okay, let's go on to our next thing. So Katherine, tell us, where can we find you and how best can we support you right now?
You can find me at Katherine, the number 4, Texas.com. And that's the same for Facebook and Instagram and Threads and Twitter. They all have the same username there. So easy to find, Katherine 4, Texas. And really the big thing right now, donations are important. You know, we need money to really keep this campaign moving and pushing forward, and so we have a good base to really defeat Christy Craddock when it comes to the general election.
Yeah, well, Katherine, I'm so glad you were able to join us here tonight, and I'm wishing you all of the best on the campaign trail, and I hope we get to meet again soon.
Yes, thank you so much, Nancy.